they're Americans and Palestinians. See how the President Trump said maybe we'll see. In other words, they had the no. Also, January 6th, they opened. Donald Trump noted they opened the doors. They were letting people in there. They want to go have back and forth cases with courts and police forms that are still criminally foreign influence, tactically delusions, raw collusions with overt criminal enterprises, private ones, more World Trade Center predicate acts. The FBI has been hiding things from judges and prosecutors. And the ones who don't know, even if they don't know, they have the evidences that are already there to show that all locations, areas, and states are still criminally foreign influence. The suburbs were designed with slavery entrenched North and South colonies before America's founders were born. Sickly distinctly, to use functionally, how sickly non distinctly was left out by everyone's rhetoric while pretending other and keeping things blamed on other things, others ourselves, rather than keeping things blamed on the breaching method. One of the things we're supposed to understand forgiveness for, where we learn things from the natures of religions distinctly from the books of religions. But the books of religions, for example, the Old Testament has a part that dictates how to read the book, and there's right up front. No one even knows about it. The Quran has a part the same way. No one even knows about it. Also, because the differences between the people defending the religions and the people countering them and the exceptions, they share quality aspects in nature as criminal insidiousness nature relative to nature's uses of demonstrating our needs to discern criminal insidiousness nature. I'm not even a lawyer. Lawyers are recorded since their inception, with modern nations started breached and forced to natures of alliances and enemies relative to how we are now individuals, groupings of humanity, and voicings A through Z for humanity as systems abridged and pretending otherwise that body is sent. Even if that body is a majority of people, even if that body is everybody. You don't leave out criminal foreign influences, extraterritorial slash hyper extraterritorial even influences on the factory nature, quality aspects of nature. More World Trade Center, Washington, D.C. names and World Trade Center names. In the Ninth Circuit Court next to the World Trade Center, and names on all sides of the criminal case there that day, and other names next to the World Trade Center the day of the World Trade Center attack. They had collusions also with news leading up to that in that context and since interstates too. They also have roles with all sides of with names with and as all sides of criminal and civil cases in Connecticut too. And in other words, they have roles with evidence rackets with Washington D.C. and with difference rackets black people. In other words, the nature of debate, the nature of debate slash S, they contain qualities, aspects, in nature slash S that a breaching method uses in order to measure and maintain roles with the breaching method. It already showed our own formal identities of the law. It needs how to do that for itself because it already knew since before our founders were born that nature was going to continue to demonstrate negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures, and the breaching method that no one wanted collusions with, except for where and how it makes exceptions for that with the breaching method. And also, the when I say breaching method, I'm not talking about with bringing a wall and things like that. This is a method that was entrenched with slavery, north and southern colonies. This is a method that tactically denatured the suburbs to cause negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures that, while being a landscape theater, not realizing, with the only means to cause positive value nature progressions, action natures more and more is if you're going to be roles with self value with the system's tactical bridge, constitution nature, as the natures of industries has left, as the real reason why, reason slash S why and how. Things like slavery, things like the breaching method forced on our founders, were left entrenched and blamed on other things other than ourselves. In our faces, would James Madison communicate for us to communicate for himself and the founders behind him? Others communicated for him and them. And they've been doing this by using truths for lies. For example, about how they had to speak like and leaving out their roles, countering the crazy breaching methods against everyone, individually grouped together with a whole bunch of different countries, whole bunch of different natures of industries that measured and maintained at locations what everyone was allowed to speak about. Otherwise, they were hurt if they were speaking about outside of those contexts. If they spoke about things properly in those contexts, they'd be hurt too. Everyone was back to nature enslaved. Everyone was therefore physically enslaved. Everyone was forced to pretend other, or they would be hurt. You guys think it's a joke. It's all right. And, in other words, to stop, don't change what people say. People bring up predicate acts, you change what they say. So the Ninth Circuit Court has post-dated legal papers from inside the Ninth Circuit Court in the World Trade Center attack context in Manhattan. That's the court right next to it. Also, with names next to it who have roles of wire crimes, mail crimes. There's a Subby Bajero and there's a Subby Scalora who have their girlfriends. I don't even know their names. I never even met them. They've been planting evidences on all campuses I went. They ain't somebody didn't even go to the campus I went. He's been planting evidences and fake ties to me, identity theft, fraud, slanders, with his cousins' roles with wire crimes and mail crimes, falsified police reports, with some police forms and courts family members and ties to them in my area, and people tied to them from other areas who they brought in because part of the tricks they use when they're hiding lie progression. Former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin, and his co-defendants also have roles with there's a these are CNN sources on off Paul Manafort Drive and on off Central Connecticut State University who have roles with judges and prosecutors and their family members, switching names, forging names. They have roles with victims advocates with the crime scenes and with all sides in criminal and civil cases used remotely, criminally foreign influence, same time with interbranch sticking sequence shifts, fabricated evidences, and with the news. The news has been planting evidences all along roads and routes with their stories, with their telephones, that, and with people with 911, the families that associate with Weathersfield's 911, they had roles of the World Trade Center attack on 911, and with the names in the court next to it, and as their roles with a proven principal child offender. A police chief Cintron has people involved with the Bravo network. All kinds of unmarked police forms and their acting professors involved with child offenders, people out of the state educational department. It's important that you stay on the predicate acts I noted and fix the fake news and fake conversations with me that WFSB pretended. At the same time, with interbranch forging and switching names, whole bunch of names tied to the same house slash S with wire crimes, falsified police reports with them. They fabricate audio and video transcripts and recorded evidences and replace actual ones and totally make up some. They have a Joshua Julian involved with the Facebook pages, a whole bunch of other people with the Facebook pages in New Britain Superior Court with passion crimes and with KKK black themed, um, you know, all these intercultural themes, and with their roles with some black KKK themed, Latino themed child offenders, medical, sexual, Pakistani, foreign and domestic, mental health people. People use the word mental health. There's still delusions raw black peoples. I mean, not everyone. We have the left out. How we have black people's white survivors. Nature communicates other with us, and it shows us too that there's a breaching method that is communicating other, and everyone has roles with it. Otherwise, you're sensed. even if you're a majority of people, even if you are everyone, black pupils. So we have to show how mandated law is not followed. The counters to, well, how many years are we going to hear people say, "Oh, give these people rights, free these people"? Get down to the predicate acts with facts. Not real science spoke for for Israel, let alone for Palestine. In other words, New York City, they never spoke for the suburbs properly, let alone for New York City, which is a city like the other ones, but also additionally, it has relativity where our countries have and our names have to be shared and they have to be independent per nature system. Now, to mimic nature system, everyone has to keep up, pretend to be about for unity and or independence, tactical ulterior from its system. So that's one thing that is great. That Donald Trump tried to do great, but they forced him not to have a quality fracture nature like time treatments to make proper time premises treatments and life treatments with the Ninth Circuit. I mean, with the with the January 6th treatments. These were also cover ups because the World Trade Center and Washington courts and the Manhattan court, Connecticut has a district court. They have superior courts. They have probate courts. There's a Leahy family with all kinds of judges and prosecutors had fake conversations with me. I caught them with the principal child offender, the same ones involved with more um World Trade Center crimes. They have Sandy Hook campuses and the Whiting forensics involved through time wire crimes and predicate acts and false police reports roles with the same house/ash with retired Weathersfield police chiefs. You guys don't follow mandated law and you're being coached to roles with it with the intelligence community. And then they have to hide that. So you should fear God for them pretending they could think. Follow mandated laws. Gosh, I gotta